There's a there's a book called the Guerrillas of Grace that I've been reading from for years, written by a Methodist minister years ago, and his prayers they're really deep, and they really speak to the depth and the beauty of the human spirit. Here's one of his prayers. O Lord, eternal friend, make me attentive still to good news, to small occasions, and the grace of what is possible for me to be, to do, to give, and to receive. Attentive to small occasions, attentive to God's grace. There's a couple people on my mind this morning, and I just got done talking to a couple people, and so my heart is full, and I'm not exactly sure what to say. There's a young man, his name is Zachary, 33 years old. He and his high school sweetheart married. They have 4 little kids. He's on his way to work the other day, and somebody is speeding, and they cross over. He's hit head on, and he's gone. And I'll be doing his service on Saturday, and I was talking to his wife for a long time this morning, and just the way she talked about him, you know, his spirit, his giving, his goodness, and his grace. And I realized that for her and her family, it's just so unfair that, when you stare the unfairness of life square in the face, where do you go? But in the middle of her loss, I could feel that grace. I could feel somehow the good news of family and friendship and love that they experienced. And then I was thinking, too, of one of our members, Kate, whose sister Patty is going to be going into hospice care in a day or two. And in talking to Patty, she talked to me about her son. And her son is a high school teacher, and his wife is seriously ill with cancer, and he's had to take time off from teaching to care for her. And there's a family, too, that is staring the unfairness of life squarely in the face. And so I think of Zach's family, I think of Patty's family, and I think of all of you that have had moments when you've seen how unfair life can be, and how in a moment of time our life can change. And then I think of those words that I just read at the beginning. Lord, make me attentive to the good news. Make me attentive to small occasions. Make me attentive to the grace that is possible. And I guess one thing that I felt after talking to Zach's wife this morning about him and his spirit, and of course in talking to Katie, who is for many of you, it is the face of Papa Joe's down the street, and her sister Patty, and Patty's son, and his son's wife. I look at what they're going through, and I see grace. I see how attentive they are to the power and the beauty of the human spirit. And it's that grace, it's that goodness, it's knowing that the good Lord lives inside the heart and soul of who you are that gets you through. Because it's true that life is unfair in many ways, and life is unpredictable. But in the middle of that unfairness, that's where God walks. This loving God who holds us in the palm of his hand. This God who does not control life. This God that doesn't make everything right. But in the middle of everything we go through, this God of grace is there. And I know that grace will get Zach's family through it. That grace will get Patty's family through it. And that grace is what binds us together. And I discover every single day why we are here. We are here to affirm the power of goodness and grace in the midst of those moments when you feel like maybe that power and grace is not there. And as I talk to you today, I look out the door and our narthex is full of bags of clothing for homeless veterans. And you know, around here, all you have to do is mention the word veterans and people respond. Because why should someone who fights for our country, someone who was in Vietnam or Korea or wherever, or Afghanistan or Iraq, why should they be homeless? You know, they fought for our country. They serve us. And yet in the middle of that, I see those bags of clothing there, and I realize there's a lot of grace and a lot of goodness because we care and we want to reach out. So today, my thoughts are kind of all over the place. But as I think of Zach's family, as I think of Patty's family, as I think of veterans who may be trying to find a place just to be, I realize that in the middle of all that, in this journey, that's where God lives and comes to us and holds us in the palm of his hand. If I ever doubted why the church is here and why it's important to have an oasis of joy, today that purpose was reaffirmed tenfold, 100-fold. God bless each one of you. I look forward to talking to you on Friday.